8 minutes to the top of the hour. Well, we've still got our guest with us here this morning. We were getting another guest who's running a little bit late, so we've kindly asked Dr. Karungu to stay on with us just to talk a little bit more about the situation in Zimbabwe. Of course, that is the biggest story that the world is following. I mean, when the world switched on to see President Robert Mugabe address not only Zimbabwe, but the entire nation, everyone was expecting a resignation out of that, and that did not come. Talk to me about your views of the situation currently unfolding in Zimbabwe.
I think first and foremost, whichever way you look at it, there will be some change. Whether the change will be negotiated or whether there will be a change in the way, the manner the system is administered, there will be some change. I hope it will not be bloody. I hope it will be peaceful. We hope it will not cause a lot of property damage. But on the other hand, any change we have in Zimbabwe have to address, among other things, the decline in economic activity. They have to claim to have what we call monetary authority or monetary sovereignty. As a country like Zimbabwe, without having its own currency running the economy, it will be very difficult to make what we call the hardcore choices. The second one is to look at accountability. Accountability across the board. Either political accountability and, more important, economic accountability. In other words, cut down on opportunistic corruption. That level of taking what we call, you join politics to enrich yourself. So I see a lot of things happening, and I see, given what we know about Zimbabwe and given the number of Zimbabweans in the diaspora with the potential to do so much, we are all of us very hopeful, particularly in economic space.
Yeah. Well, we have got our next guest who we're going to bring in. He's just arrived, and we're going to seat him on the couch with you as this broadcast gets underway. He's a young politician, Acie Lumumba. He's a former member of ZANU-PF, and he quit his position a year and a half ago, citing the party's failure to deliver on its promises to the people. He's not the chairperson of, or he is not the chairperson of only the political party or the youth political party in the country. It's called ViVa Zimbabwe. So it's really good to have him in studio with us. I know running a little bit late, so we're just pulling you in live. Acie, thank you. I'm glad that you could be with us, and welcome to Morning Live.
I'm glad I could make it. Good morning to you.
Awesome, absolutely. Let's address this hypothetical elephant in the room first. You've been accused of misappropriation of funds and corruption while you were in the ZANU-PF as the youth governmental position,
right. And
you've openly admitted to it. What happened there?
Well, look, here's one thing that politics tends to do to people, and people don't like to admit it. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And it's like a drug that we have in politics across Africa, that once you begin dealing with ungoverned access to resource in governments, especially at a young age, you know, it really kind of, it got me. I came out and I said, this is terrible, this is bad. I fixed it. And I made a mistake like everybody makes a mistake. And I corrected it. And I left the party because I learned this very important thing about corruption in ZANU-PF. No one gets fired from ZANU-PF for stealing money. Nobody. In fact, you get a promotion for stealing money. It seems as if in African politics, nobody gets fired for stealing. You get promoted. So the notion that I might have been fired for misappropriation of funds is very false. Look, how much money are we talking about? $14,000? Seriously? See, in Zimbabwe, there's $15 billion missing. Has anybody ever been questioned? And you really think I got fired for $14,000?
Well, let's move on to the current situation now. What would you like to see happen? I mean, it's a very important day in Zimbabwe today. So what are you hoping that's going to come out of it?
Well, I think above everything else, stability and return to normalcy. I think Emmerson Mnangagwa is coming in as the vice president. That process has to happen quickly so that investors can have some confidence, so that people can get back to work, so that the party ZANU-PF itself can start preparing itself for the elections, but so can other parties. Right now, we don't even know if we're going to have elections anymore. So in order for normalcy and stability to come back, Emmerson Mnangagwa is an inevitability. You know, all this talk, all this pomp and fare, he is an inevitability.
To be the president
of Zimbabwe. The quicker he gets into office, the quicker everybody else can get back to work.
Okay, so what you foresee happening is that President Robert Mugabe is going to be impeached, Mnangagwa is going to come in as the president, and then it'll be life as normal.
Absolutely. Okay, so I don't think Robert Mugabe is going to go that easy. I think he's going to contest the Central Committee decision to fire him. We've seen this in the precedents in Zimbabwe. MDC went through the same thing. Morgan Tsvangirai was fired by Tendai Biti. He fought. Morgan Tsvangirai won. Tendai Biti was fired. He fought. He won. So Mugabe is going to fight. He will absolutely fight back. This is a man who took power by the gun. You're not going to get rid of him by ink. Pen and paper doesn't get rid of Robert Mugabe. But either way, he is on his way out. It's just a question. He's like a man in denial. And he just has to keep applying pressure, but either way, he's out.
All right. How do you see yourself playing a part in this changing Zimbabwe?
Well, first of all, I'm already playing a part. I was the first one in ZANU-PF to say something is wrong with this man. Remember, I'm the guy who went to prison for 6 weeks for saying this man is not the right man to be leading the country. I joined ZANU-PF because of the promise it made to the people. I left ZANU-PF because of the promise it broke to the people. So I saw this coming. Now, what role am I playing right now? I've been mobilizing all the noise to say this man has got to go. Now that he's on his way out, I have every intention of making sure that very important promise that the people of Zimbabwe are expecting from the country is delivered.
Yeah. How long have you been a part of ZANU-PF?
I was in ZANU-PF for 2.5 years, and I rose up to the most senior, to being the most senior young person within the party.
Yeah. So you joined the party thinking that that they were making a difference at the time. That was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
They didn't look like they were making a difference then.
No, in fact, I didn't join the party 2.5 years ago. I left it about 2.5 years ago. When I joined the party, I was a 22-year-old boy.
Okay,
and I was
good.
a 22-year-old kid. I left as a 25-year-old. So, and to me, there were two alternatives on the table. There were two alternatives on the table. There was the alternative of ZANU-PF and the alternative of MDC. I never thought MDC was going to make any progress. It still hasn't made any progress. It is not able to make any progress. ZANU-PF, for me, provided the tools and instruments that had the only shot at possibly making progress.
So now you've got a youth political party. Explain what that is to me, and it's called ViVa Zimbabwe.
That's right. The reason we created a youth political party is if a young person in Zimbabwe today said, I wanted to get into politics and I want to join MDC, they have no idea where to go and join it. If a young person said, I want to join ZANU-PF, they have no idea where to go and join it. So we needed to create a space that harbored the political interest and responsibility of young people. That's what ViVa Zimbabwe was set out to do. We had two objectives. Make sure young people are registering to vote. Make sure young people are running for office. Now, in every constituency across the country, you have young people registering to vote and you have young people are standing for office. So our job is done.
Nangagwe, your views on him. Do you really think that he is the man to lead Zimbabwe? A lot of people have been saying that this is not the right guy, but then again, there are some supporters. But you obviously know him. What do you think?
I've had a chance to work with this man. I've also had a chance to work with many other leaders in the country. I can tell you this authoritatively. Every Zimbabwean leader I have met is broken. We're a country full of broken people. That's why we almost can't stand each other. We all have a terrible past we all have to address, including Vice President Mnangagwa. His single greatest job is not what has he done in the past that we must judge him on. His single greatest job is how does he harbor the ambitions and dreams of Zimbabweans and move them forward. Because if we replace him with anybody, no Zimbabwean is perfect. We simply have got to heal each other going forward. And right now, he's the best placed man for the job.
Finally, Grace Mugabe.
Yeah.
Is this a move really to get rid of her more than anybody else?
There is nothing I am more excited about than to see Grace Mugabe not only out of ZANU-PF, but out of the country.
Let's leave it there. Thank you for talking to us. Acie Lumumba, who runs a youth political party in the country. He is a former member of the ZANU-PF, talking to us here on Morning Live. Thank you very, very much for being our guest. It's 7 o'clock. Let's get the news.